Okay, so let's start going to learn basics about the Python. Uh, the objective of this uh, understanding the Python due to the heavy use of AI and ML, machine learning, data scientist. If these, you can say, Python is the very suited language, you can say, nowadays for the data scientists, data analyst, and even for the machine learnings. Okay. And nowadays, the era of AI, artificial intelligence, behind the scene, lots of machine learnings technology use. So the Python is a very uh, nowadays very famous and very easy to use language for the data scientists who are visualizing the data, analyzing the data. Okay. So due to that, I also think let's talk on this Python. At least we should know the basics of what is the Python language. If somehow you are talking to the data engineer, data scientist, and somehow sometime they are referring some code, so at least we should aware that hey, this is the code, what is the meaning, what is the syntax, so that someone talking about that, we should understand something, right? And also these are the, you can say, if anyone who are interested to writing some program code on the computer and want to learn the Python as a language, so you can say this is a very easy to start, you can say, right? So let's go and talk. So first, let's understand कि Python ऐसे, this is the programming language. This is the high level interpreted programming language that is widely used for the various purpose. So nowadays, first thing, Python is the computer programming language. Or you can say, if you are interested to build a software or game or app, so you need to understand the programming language, which computer understand, which your mobile understand, which your server understand. So this programming language, dozens of hundreds of programming languages now exist for writing your software, writing your application, writing your product, right now. So, but each programming language has some unique features, capability. And nowadays, you can say whenever you are building any product or any software, any application, might be highly possible scenario that you are going to use the multiple technologies to meet the different use case of your application. Might be in the case of sometime you use the database technology, sometime with the programming language techniques. Multiple programming language technique you can depend upon their use case. Some use case where you can Python, some use case where the bash scripting, some where the Java, some where the different tools, C, C++, Java, Ruby, Python, lots of programming language in the market. The good part in this programming language community is that if you understand the any one programming language and understand the basics of that, so this is very easy and become simple for you to learn, work any other new programming language. You learn it, let's you learn the C language in a college or C++. That's sufficient. Now on the top of that, You can learn Python, Java, Ruby, C Sharp, lots of programming language you can say. So don't worry, Python is you can say very very simple, and you can say even easy to start the programming language for the beginner as well. As if you are, this is a good part, this programming language is very simple and even start from the beginner, and even this is very heavily used for the complex programming model like machine learning, deep learning, data scientist, okay, where millions of petabyte of data you are going to analyze, where the Python also help us. So wide range of uh, nowadays usage of the Python language. Okay? So if you talk basic, almost these programming language can you can use for the developing web application, web services, server, client server architectures. It's suit. Even you want to use what the data analysis, you have lots of data, you want to working on the data including cleaning data, visualizing data, analyzing data, applying machine learning algorithm on data, where Python also help us. Even I talk artificial intelligence, yeah, you want to building AI or machine learning model, here Python is very helping. Even you want to some kind of automations, like you want to write in the script or you want to write some automate a particular task, automate particular workflow you want to implement. So in those scenario also Python is very very suit and easy to learn, easy to build those automation script for you. And even if we as a scientific community perform some scientific algorithm simulators, and are you going to some calculation is very complex calculation, so they have a very very suit library frameworks, functions available which help us to perform the scientific mathematical calculation and formula as well. As and that's very very easy. If you want to learn for education purpose for teaching, let's say you want to go in a student, you want to learn the programming language concept principle, so that is a very very good for those case where you have to teach the programming language of Python. As a beginner can launch and start the understanding how our systems, our applications, our computers nowadays highly used in the form of application, in the form of product, in the form of apps on the mobile. Lots of apps, game we are playing. So behind the scene, how these games, play, apps are built. So those require the programming language. And here, if you want to start, if you want to learn, the Python is a very, very uh, good choice to start learning programming language from the beginner point of view, from a student point of view. If you are the senior member, where you are highly deal with the data, model, machine learning, scientific calculations, you can say Python also help here. Okay, so whatever till now we understand, that's very, so these are the some you can say the point where Python is known for its first easy to learn syntax, because the Python the designers is mainly focus the language should be as simple so that anyone, even they someone don't have a degree or knowledge of computer science or IT industry, have not certified and not completed some course, even just they want to interest to learn the programming language and want to build some applications, we can say Python is the very good choice. The very simple, very intuitive syntax and make it very very accessible for the beginner. And good part, they have a large community. Even this is a very simple language. Even the community, the active support, very vast. Because a vast and active community for the developer, users, and the helper. And even on the Google search, if you want to learn something, any kind of problem, any kind of issue, lots of solution you can find. Anything in your career, if you are using, and surely everyone somewhere, some situation going to struggle, find to solution, find to problem solution. So you have to go and ask people. If you have lots of people, lots of community, and lots of Google search content available for you, you can easily that you can say make a service. You can get lots of service from your problem. And the very, very good point, Python provides the very extensive library and frameworks. So you can on the if you are working in a Python, so you for almost major case and scenario situation, you don't need to write the scratch algorithm or code. Just you think this is my problem, this is my situation. Just think, is library Python provided for my use case or not? Almost you find. So Python have a very rich ecosystem of library and framework. Let's say you want to start the web development. So instead of each and everything doing from scratch, let's use the existing library and frameworks like Django or Flask. These are the frameworks available where you can easily start building your web application. If you want to dealing with the data science, so for data science, lots of your library available, framework NumPy, Panda, Matplotlib. These are the for data science. Data science, that means the person who are dealing the large amount of data for a company, for a business, and they want to understand inside what the data speak, and on the basis of data they are providing the solution, they are providing the predictions for the company in the future. And if you are interested to artificial intelligence, AI, ML, that also have a library available, TensorFlow or PyTorch. And even nowadays, due to the very less time to develop application, nowadays every programming language, every framework, even cloud nowadays offer, you can build your applications and deliver to the customer as early as possible. So here the only hurdle, let's you are a nowadays technology framework available, they can build your application very minimum time frame. But the challenge is how you can verify your product or use case. Manual testing would take a lots of time. So for that, if you have anyone, automate them. Just write all the test cases, all the situation, and run quickly. So for the automations, also this Python is very sort of like you can go Selenium or PyAuto. Even you want to automate all the test cases. Okay. And if you are interested to, let's say I'm going to make some game apps. So for game development also Python have a pygame. So you can say huge list. This is just I'm just noted down here 4 and 5, like web development, data scientist, AIML, automation, game development, but list is very vast. You can just okay. And the very also good part, if you are going to learn Python, so they support the cross platform compatibility. That means you are develop your application and don't worry the where which operating system my application can run. Even the same code can run on a Windows machine, same code can run on a Mac OS or even Linux, even Unix, any kind of systems. You can say just provide the Python environment and now your application can be run on different platform at different operating systems, you can say, right? Okay, so these are so if you talk about the key features about this Python language, what are the basic key features? So also key feature is a many, but I have just highlighted these couple of, maybe in a group you can say language feature. As a Python programming language, what are the capability of as a programmer perspective, as a data structure perspective, as a reading content, yeah, data or file or input output kind of, and sometime whenever you are building applications, you also handle the unwanted situation like error handling. Yeah, something, some problem happen in your application, how you can going to debug, or what kind of other utilities the Python's language support. Okay, so let's talk a little bit one by one. What are the language feature, programming feature, data scientist feature, file and input or an output feature. So in the case of language feature, you can say, as we talk first, as a easy to learn syntax. Python has a very simple syntax that make it easy to learn, and even any beginner can start if they have don't any programming experience. They can just start, and they can also support object oriented programming concept as well. As if you want to, like Python object oriented concept, like such as encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, you can say Python support multi paradigm language support. You can write the object oriented code or simple structure, simple sequential approach as well as like a C language, right? Now, and even they support the dynamic type, means the Python is dynamically typed, which means you don't need to declare some variable before using it. Means you can uh, data typing dynamically, means automatically figure out by the programming language itself. Okay, and for the memory management, Python use automatic memory management through the garbage collector, which eliminate the need of manual allocation, deallocations of memory. So whenever we are going to write the code, our code or a software run required the memory. How much memory required, when we are going to allocate memory, when we are going to deallocate memory. Whenever if you learn about the C language, we manually allocate and deallocate memory for my applications. So all this memory management also taken care by your Python library itself. You don't more bother about how I can manage the memory for my application. If you talk about the programming features, so programming feature again, modules and packaging. That means you can write your code in a simple command line terminal, write the code, read the code, evaluate the code, print the code. That's good. That's simple. Go to the open editor, write a code. But even we can, for a permanent or longer application, you can write the Python file, and that have a group related files in a particular package. So you can say Python has a vast collections of modules. Modules means here Python file. You can write the code, save in a file, generally file extension with the .py, and can be easily, let's you created one Python file you created, and you have written your function, business logic, something, and this file can be used in another Python. This is my Python program. I want to use this particular function which is written here. I want to here. Simple say, hey, this is the import complete file here, and do. So they import a particular whole file, a particular function. Even a good part, Python support, if you want to write a code, prefer we can use the function. Here Python's function is the first class citizen, which means you can be use function as in a data. That means you can pass in argument, return as a value, even assign to a variable. So whatever the data value you have, similarly you can consider as a function. So just like any programming language, the data is the primary content where data move or flow, move from the code, move from the function, return value. Similarly in the Python, or you can say functional programming approach, where function can also move as a parameter, as a value, as a return. Okay, so you can say indirectly, Python programming language also support the functional programming approach, where functions considered as a first class citizens. Okay, and this is also support the lambda function. Functional programming approach support you can write the very small a function that can be used in any places. So lambda function is also support where you can see you can write very anonymous in small function that can be defined inline or can be returned or can be taken as an input and they perform. So these are concept like functions or lambda expression uh, help us that not just Python programming language for the object oriented feature capability, even the functional programming capability also they have in the form of functions as a first class citizen in the concept of lambda functions. These are help us to define our uh, programming language. What is happening? Okay. Okay, these are the some major, lots of, but these are the major support module and package, support function as a first class citizen, support lambda expression, and lots of Pythons have a some generator class special kind of function that used to generate the sequence of value on the fly whenever you want. Okay, so these are the some capability which help us. Very good choice for the beginner, for the data scientist. If you talk some data structure feature, like they what are the common data structure in the computer science are mostly we are using these Python have a very good library for the data structures. What are the data structures generally used you can get here? These are the commonly like you of a list data structures, or tuple data structure, or dictionary can say map, or even a set. So Pythons have a you can say whenever you are going to deal the data structures, just don't worry. Python have a already inbuilt library available, functions available. Just you can use it. You want to list, what are the list? Just list the collections of order, collections of value that can be processed, then can be manipulated, then can be indexed, and that can be slicing. So in indexing, slicing, manipulations, everything available for your collections of the value or list of the value. Sometimes the collections or list, this is the order collections of value. Similarly, you want to kind of order immutable collection, means you have an order collection but don't want anyone can modify or replace or change the value, but you can use tuple. Tuples help us, you can make a work on the collections that are order collections and immutable, where in the, you can pass as a functional programming approach your data movement as this motive. If you using the data that are immutable, that's very good for the concurrency, multi-threading, and functional programming approach. So tuple help us. And even we have a dictionary kind of a concept where map you can say you have a unordered collections of key and value. You are putting not just value but along with a particular each value associated with a particular key. This is the key, and again key, again value. So in future they are very fast access. If you know the key, you can quickly get the value. And sometime you want to make a collections of unordered but the unique value. Here value in the set can be duplicate. Similarly, in the case of set data structure, now hey, you can store the value that's maybe unordered, but the values, whatever the value are storing in your collection, that must be unique. So if you want uniqueness, go to the set. You want to duplicate allow, go to the list. Uniqueness, go to the set. And you want to map kind of things, key and value, go to the dictionary. Even Python, you can say, help us to work with a file, because whenever you are going to deal with a data science, or you have to somehow read the file from the large file, maybe CSV, maybe text file. You want to read them, process them. So somehow you how those files on the particular folder or particular content you want to from read and write, so that we have a file and input output kind of feature support. So don't worry, file Python provide a range of functions and modules where you want to reading content, writing files, including text files, CSV files, JSON file, XML file, any kind of almost a format of file you have, you can read them, you can modify them, you can again write back. So read and write operation for the text file is also a very good list, a range of Python functions available. And sometimes you want to take input from the command lines and give the output. So Python provides a standard input output stream, and that can use to read from and write to the console or the other device whenever you want, right now. And that's good one. Whenever you are building the application, your application can be communicate to another application, another network, or another internet. So those scenario, they have a networking library available. So the range of, you can say, modules and library available provided by the Python, so that you can, if you want to include TCP IP protocol, HTTP protocol, FTP protocol, any kind of networking concept, surely easy methods and function available for the file input, output, and networkings related matter. And whenever you are writing the code, sometime you are going to designs, you're going to handle if users or customer put the wrong value, or whatever the required input customers are not offering, our system is not able to read, some fault happen. So how our application behave? So those, they are a concept of try and ex accept blocks, which help us to ensure that you can catch the exception, handle the exception, and during the program execution. So whenever your program running and you can any kind of exception, any kind of error occur, so you can catch them, you can handle them, and you can provide the proper solution, so that your application can run or smoothly give the corresponding error message to the customer. And all the things, this is very good part. You should aware how you can debug your code. Once you develop the application, deploy the customers environment, a customer, whenever customer are going to use your application, they can complain, they can say, hey, this use case, yeah, this function, yeah, these features are not working as per expected. So those scenario, as a developer, you should know how to debug the code, how to test the code locally. So Python provide the range of debugging tool. Maybe you can use the P Python debugger tools, or even these are the inbuilt provided by the Python itself, but you can also use a third-party library. Maybe you can use the PyCharms, is the editor where we write the code, run the code, debug the code, and you can even use the Visual Studio VS Code. That's help you to understand, read, write your code so smooth manner, right? So these are the basics. So let's jump on how we can from where we can install the, because whenever you are in your machines, might be the Python or running code required some libraries, some packages, your software must be installed right now. So from where you can install the Python, the installation of Python is very simple. These are the official websites available. Just go this website, and you can download the installer. Maybe if your machines or laptop is a window, you can download for window. Your Mac OS for download Mac, and Linux for Linux, and just install them. Once installation, you can specify that, hey, this is my path where installation happen, and just verify, hey, your Python is installed. Just run this command. Hey, you go to the open the command line terminal and check your Python hyphen version, or Python 3, whatever the version in your Python 3 hyphen version, install or not install. Okay, and even you can just check here, and if you notice here, these are the official documentation Python here. Go here, and this is the download all the release, the latest release. Just this is the my for Mac OS. You can just back by default the whatever the operating system you have by default, this Python website identify, and just click download and install them. And similarly, if you're Windows, go for the window here, and you can download from window. Whatever the download you want, you can get from the here. Okay, just click the download. The installation is very simple, and installation done. And once installation done, you can just go and open your command prompt, your terminal. Just type your Python version. So already have it installed, so I am getting my Python version, right? Okay, and even if you want one things, you have to install your you have to install first things your Python. Second thing, for writing code, for the development, for whatever the code you are going to write, programming code. So there is a not any mandatory rule key you where you can write the code. Python say don't worry, Python provide the interactive cell as a command line said, you can write all the code and test here. This is one way. Another way, or you can use any whatever the editor you have, a notepad, textpad, sublime, any tools, just write the code and run from the as well as. But nowadays, lots of simplest way to write the code use some the ID, integrated development environment tool. This tool help us like you can install the PyCharms or VS Code. These are very popular uh, code editor where you can write the code right now. They provide easy to run the code, write the code, and find all the library, all the methods, definition, declaration, syntax, right now. Help us. So nowadays you can say preferable way you can write the code using the editor, but Python as a language not enforce you. Hey, you have to use the this specific editor. Whatever the choice you want, you can. For those scenario, you can simply say, hey, so maybe you can just download. This is the official website of JetBrain provided the PyCharms. This is the Python editor for the data scientist and web development. And they have a notice they have a two kind of versions. One is your professional versions, and another here you can say community version. So for initial for learning purpose, these are the license paid version. You have to provide some kind of license to the JetBrain. So I recommend just go to the download freeware, just download and install. It's a very simple. This is the community version for the free and open source contribution for the Python ecosystem. This is a very free, you can say, provided by JetBrain, where you can write, run, test, debug your code. Okay, but initially this is don't go for the professional for charging. No, it's learning purpose. This is very free, and even many developers already know about the VS Code, Visual Studio. Also, this is the kind of editor you can just download and you can use the VS Code as well as right now. So I have a, let's show you already. I have a VS Code installed. You can just go and write this is the here write your Python code, whatever the Python code you want, and run them. So here just easy to run, easy to write code. Okay, this is the code is run. So or you can use VS Code, or even you can use the Py. So this is also kind of I install just for purpose. Whenever you install it, this is a screen same. Hey, let's I want to create a new project. Select the new project and just go the create here, and this new project is created. Okay, and once this created, you can simply go here, say hey, I want to new, and just go and select the hey Python file. That's this is the sample test sample file, and just say hey, this is the sample file, and now sample file is created. And here you can just write a code, hey print, you want to print something, just say hey print, say hello. Okay, and you can just whenever you install, they can wants to your Python, whatever Python install, select them and just run from here, or you can just run from here. So this way you can code run from here. So these are the editor way. You want to run from terminal, you can open, hey this is my terminal from here. Command prompt you can open, if you are a window, open command prompt, from command prompt so you can test them. Just say python here. This is the interactive cell open. Here you can say let's message equal to hello, hello, and you want to print them, print them. Okay, in this way. So these are the command prompt. If you want, there is no editor required. You can write all the code here and test whatever code you want to test right now. If you want to quit them. Okay, so these are the different way. My preferences. This is as per your convenience. You can simply, you don't want to install any kind of editor. Just you can write the code from the your command prompts, your terminal, and test. But if best way, save the time, easy way, you can use the any editor, VS Code or the Python, IntelliJ Python job right now. So let's. These are the things we have. Oh, okay. So once you have installed the Python, download your IDE, and after that, let's now we are going to understand how we are going to write the code, understand the basic things. So you can say a couple of classes. You can say a couple of we going to understand very basics about the Python programming language. Okay. So first things, you are going to learn any programming language, you might be know first what are the syntax and semantic for this programming language right now. So Python is designed, first things keep in mind, to be easy. That means if you want to read and write, so if you want your code should be more readable and you can easily write the code. So focus is that syntax is so easy to read and write your program, and with focus on readability. Someone read the code and they can understand, hey, what the program is saying. So syntax, what the meaning of syntax? Syntax, that means, or you can say a grammar or vocabulary. That's there are two, you as a soft programmer or learner or beginner that want to communicate talk to the laptop, computer, server, mobile. Okay, so the language English, Hindi, whatever the language the same language is my computer can understand or not. Generally not. We learn, we speak in our mother tongue, maybe our universal language like English. So is one human being, that's another human being. I am speaking, you are easily understand. Why? Because you know the English language. You know the English language. Because me, I and you both are almost the same capability. Listen, speak, see, right now. But here, this is the human being and this is the machine. So naturally, both are the different. So surely both cannot talk to each other. So somehow we have to need a established communication between the human being and computer. So we have to make somehow what as a programmer want to say and what our computer can understand. So this is known as a between converter, interpreter, compiler. So that's take your input, compile them, interpret them, convert them, the machine understandable code so that your laptop can understand what you want to say, right? So this is typically any programming language, the architecture is that first you as a software engineer or programmer know the basic English language. You are going to write the code in very simple English language. So the question is that is this very simple English language computer also build they can understand your English language. So is it sufficient? They can understand what I'm saying. You want to say, hey, I want to calculate the summation of three numbers. So this, the language you written is directly understandable computer or not. This is not possible. What you speak as a standard English language, the same English language can understand with my computer. So what they say, so let's understand what computer understand. Computer is the electronics device. That means they can understand the concept of the electricity. They understand the concept of the voltage, supply, but they cannot understand our voice, like hello, some. So somehow our engineer decided let's see what he understand. He understand the electric. So electric have a so those electric how we as a human being understand as a electricity as a voltage we understand not we cannot understand. So there is a challenge, there is a problem, there is a gap between me and between my computer. So finally, we have decided in engineer decided let's they can understand the format at least uh, two possible scenario. Maybe electricity is going on or electricity is going off. So the particular circuit or maybe you what the in the electronics device the concept of circuit. So maybe current flowing or current not flowing. This is one way. Maybe voltage fluctuation, maybe high voltage or low voltage. So somehow the nature of electricity, the nature of electronics, electricity, the scientists decided possible scenario maybe we can send smooth electricity or we can send some high voltage electricity. Smooth electricity, high voltage, smooth, high voltage, smooth, high voltage. So what happened here trying to say? somewhere I can give the high voltage, sometime low voltage, high voltage, low voltage, high voltage, low voltage, high voltage, low voltage. So this is somehow we can understand the pattern. Maybe high voltage you can say 1, maybe low voltage you can say 0. So somehow you can say this is the computer nowadays understand the 0 and 1 format. 0 1 for just human readability, 0 and 1. For the computer is only voltage, electricity, high electricity, low electricity, yes electricity, no electricity. Somehow so we have to make a conversion somehow. So our electronics device can understand the language of your electricity, voltage, voltage, high voltage, low voltage, no voltage, yes voltage, right? But again, challenge is still there. How we understand high volt, no volt? How can in the only the two language volt, power on off, yeah, high low? How I can communicate my thought, my ideology to the computer? So again, scientists develop the concept about the compatibility, right? So what they develop, okay, don't worry. So you as a human being, that's good. You can understand your standard English language. That's very good, very good. I have make one intermediate interpreter converter, and that is your software. That is your software run. Okay, so here they can written a software component that can convert your whatever that you want as a request in the form of 0 1. Okay, they can convert and send here, interpret them, converter, language translator. So what this component is, how they can convert to 0 and 1 format. So they can say I am not know each and every what you know, but you can give me the hentical syntax. Hey, you give me this, then I can understand it. So they can provide some specific syntax, a grammar, a rule, vocabulary. So instead of I am going to write my code natural language, what are we speaking? Hey, we speaking I want to find out the summation of 10 number. The number is this is the general natural language. So this natural language is very tough to understand this interpreter. Interpreter say, don't worry, you can just give little bit idea which I can understand. Okay, the first we as a human being want to learn what this converter interpreter have given syntax. So I am going to write those my English, but the specific rules and regulation which this compiler or interpreter provided. So I am going to write a specific syntax semantic to convey my plain English message. So here plain English language is a natural programming language. We are not going to write, but instead of with the help of first we are going to learn what the my programming language like a Python. So Python have provided some syntax and semantics. Hey, you have to follow these rules, regulations. So programming language is nothing as a human being, as a we programmer, we are going to learn what the syntax are provided by the Python for us, so that we are going to write the correct syntax, correct grammar, correct vocabulary. That's Python interpreter know. So due to that, Python also knows Python is a interpreted language. That means whatever the code you write in here, they are going to first check you written as per the my rules, regulations, syntax, vocabulary are yes. If all is going fine, then I am going to convert your program into the binary format, or and then binary format transfer to the your operating system or machine, and now machine can understand and reply back to your data. So this is the flow. So in short, you can say whenever you are as a developer, you are going to write a code is in English language as per the Python's rule, regulation, vocabulary, grammar. And now your code is taken care by your interpreter. Interpreter read your code and convert your binary output. Binary output is understood by your operating system, and operating system execute the code and response back to the whatever the output you want. Okay, so syntax is the just rules and regulation. That's it. Like here, you want to learn the English language. How I am able to communicate with you because you know the English, I know the English. The English have a well-defined alphabet, consonant, vowel, grammars, all the grammars rule, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, conjunction, interrogation, everything's defined. How to write the sentence, how to write a question. If I know the grammars, then we can communicate to each other. Similarly, if you want to solve your problem that from the operating system, from the computer, from hardware, from mobile, you have to understand the grammars of your computer or programming language. These grammars are Python grammars known as a Python syntax. Means ki Python have a just like English language, we have alphabet, vowel, consonant, right? Sentence, rule, noun, pronoun, right? These similarly, Python language also have a syntax, rule, regulation. So couple of classes we are going to understand. You can say whole programming language. We are just going to understand what the Python as a language provided the rules, regulation, grammar, alphabet, everything. Right now. So hope it's give you clear. Any programming language, not just Python, or you want to learn C, C++, Java, Haskell, Scala, Ruby, Go, any programming language. Finally, the objective is that we are going to learn the alphabet, rule, grammars of the language. Let's say you want to learn a Hindi. You have to learn the Hindi alphabet, Hindi grammar. If you want to learn the French, you want to understand the French alphabet, character, sentence, rule, grammar. So similarly, in the human being, each location, each country, different language are spoken. Each language has some sign language, some syntax, some rules, some regulations, some grammar. If you really want to understand, you can learn the grammars. Similarly, in the computer, if you want to talk to the computer, computer can help you. Computer can solve your problem. That means first computer can understand your problem. What computer understand, what you understand must be in the same place. So due to that, we are going to learn the programming language. So that if we learn the alphabet, vocabulary, sentence rule of the Python language. Once we learn, we can easily write the code, and now we are able to communicate with the machine, mobile, hardware, server. So hope this give you the basic idea about the any programming language, not just Python. Python also follow. The Python is the high level interpreted programming language. That means you are generally writing code in a very high level English language, okay? But as per the rule of your Python grammars, you have to learn Python alphabet, Python vowel, Python consonant, what are the sentence rule, what are the verb, noun, adjective. As English grammar we have to learn, similarly Python also have a grammar we have to learn. Once we learn the Python grammar, then we can talk to the machine, that is known as a programming language. The similarly word language, whatever the way you learn the language, similarly programming language you can learn. Okay, so the basic syntax of the Python is that they have work on the very rigid indentation. That means the Python use indentation to define the block level structure must indentate your code using the space denote to the block. So you have to make a four space to make one block. So other programming languages have a very clear demarcation, open and close curly brace. Okay, so this is the code belong to this block. But Python there is a no any concept of curly brace, open code, close code. So we have to specify the proper space, number of space you have to denote, and sometimes you have to use a comment whenever you are writing code. At the writing of code you easily understand what the business logic code you are writing, but sometimes once you written the code, other developer going to read the code, that's very might be he's not the level at which you are. So if you provide some comment the code, just provide, hey, this is the business logic code I'm written, this is just English sentence, so that anyone can read. So this line of code whenever you start has symbol, Python compiler know, hey, this is the explanations of the code, so they are ignore them, they are not run them, just this for your human readability. So Python support whenever you're writing any function business logic, just add the complete descriptions in the comment section, so that this code is not executed by the compiler or interpreter, Python interpreter, but that can help us to understand your readability of the code. Python have some statement we're going to talk. Statements are executed at one times. Statement can be simple, expression, functions, or control structure. We're going to talk any statement look like in a English language one sentence. One sentence. There are two kind of sentence in English. Whenever this is the boy, okay, and one sentence is this a boy? Questions. You are expecting some answer. So whenever you are asking some question, that means you are expecting some answer. Is this a boy? Is this a mango? Something. So similarly, in the programming language, whenever you are writing sentence, sentence can be two form. One sentence, just simple, just like this is the boy. Just this sentence, anyone read and understand, right? Similarly, in the Python language, you have write statement that are just executed. Okay, another kind of sentence where you write them but they are expecting some output, like just like an interrogative question. So those sentence that evaluate and return some value to you, that is known as a expression. Statement is just statement executed and done what the line of code you written. Okay, we're going to talk more whenever doing this, some exercise, right? So these are 2 points we have to remember: statement and expression. Okay, so here notice 2 plus 2 is like an expression. Whenever evaluate, they return the value 4. Okay, so expressions are evaluated as a value, and statements are just sentence that are executed, but they are not forcefully to return some value or evaluate as it. So Python support both kind of a statement as well as expression. Expression means evaluate and return value to you. Sentence just evaluate, just do the action whatever the code you written. All right. So let's here say, so here you written, this is the one simple statement. Here say no, uh, a equal to 20, b equal to 30. Okay, and say z equal to a plus b. I want to print the result sum equal to z. Okay, so here simple uh, 1 2 and evaluate. This is the kind of a getting the value. So this is considered as a expression. They evaluate the value what you want. Right now, this is the way you can write the code. Just simple. Uh, uh, this is the value. This is the expression. They evaluate and return the value. Right. So here, before going to talk, here notice I have a say like here. What is this A? What is this B? What is this Z? Okay, what this a b r z, so this is considered as a variables. So variable, you can say very simple terms like alphabet in a grammar vocabulary. Alphabet, what's the basic of the language which you're going to learn, like alphabet, character, abcd. Similarly, in the programming language, variables are the very primitive. These are the base of, you can say, without the any variables, you can say value, we cannot go like without alphabet we cannot learn the language, right? Similarly here, so here say you don't declare any variable. This is the one rules we can talk, but you can simply assign a value to the variable using the assignment operator. So let's, we have a 5. This is the one value. 5 is one value. Okay, so this is the 5 is the one value, or 6 is the one value. So here, see, this is the not, this is the value, how to use them, 2 times 3 times. So here say this is the one variable that assign a value 5. So you can say consider as a variable is just like a placeholder or box where you say this is the one location, this location name is the v variable, and what the value they are going to hold, they are holding the value as a 5. Okay, so this complete known as a, this is known as a, your name of the locations is the variable name, and what the value they are storing, this is known as a value. And how make a relationship between two using the assignment operator. This is the lesson. This is the variable name assigning value to the file. Okay, so variable is nothing, just name of a container or box where you can store the sum value, right? So here we have a variable a store value 20. That means this is the one container that hold the value. Okay. So here say this is the variable a, this is the variable a. So that means this is the one variable a, a. The a is the just like a container, and what the value hold, this is the 20. So 20 considered as a value, a considered as a variable. So a is a variable, similarly b is a variable. So z, z also is the variable, z also is the variable, but they hold the value of a plus b. That means key another variable b that hold the value of 30, that hold the value of 30. But z is the also variable that hold the value of a and plus b. The a plus b equal to, this is the hold the value of your 50. The z is also variable that hold the value of a plus b. So here variables value and the assignment operator. So here say a equal to 7. So here this is known as a variable name. This is known as a the value. This value are going to associate in this container, in this box, which is the equal to operator. This is known as a assignment operator. You are assigning the value. So in the simple math, you notice this is used for the equal to operator, like, but in the computer this is generally we say assignment operator. That means ki whatever the value here written, this is the left side and this is the right hand. Whatever the value of the right hand are going to put or store in your variable name, whatever the variable name given you here. But in the case of you want to check the equality, then use the double quote operator. This operator used as a equal operator in the programming. This operator known as assignment. This is the assignment operator. This is not equal operator. In generally math, we can say equal, but in the computer, we are saying this is the assignment operator, where the value are assigned to the variable, right? So very basics of your any programming language is the variable. So in short, variable is nothing just like as a container or a box that you give the some label or name, whatever the name you give. Let's I given the name as a age. The age is the my container, but age nothing. What is my age? We have some put, well, let's my age is the 30. So 30 is the value. So this is the value 30, this is the age. How the relationship? So age assign value 30. So assignment operator make a relation. Now 30 value are going to assign to the age variable. So this is the known as a value. This value we are going to talk can be different types, like a number, like a float, like a decimal number. In a mathematical line, like 3.35. This is also one value. This is also one value. Like alphabet A, this is also a value. Word also a one value. So different nature of value. We are going to talk, but variable is the just location name, or you can say place name or holder name, where you can assign some value. Some value can be integer value, float value, double value, string value, any kind of value. But the variable is the placeholder or the label blocks where you can hold some value. Maybe simple value, maybe complex value, maybe some object, or maybe sentence, maybe anything. The play variable is the very basic elementary unit of any programming language. All the code, all the program you are going to use with the help of variable. So variable, we clearly understand where variable. So variable is a very key understanding in the programming language. Let's variable understand like you as a one human being. What is your variable name? Your variable name is your name. So your name. The name is the variable name from where you as an object going to identify. Yeah, your roll number, your PAN number, your Aadhaar number, your SN number, all your variable. Means these variable help us to identify the object, entity, the value. Similarly, all the value like 7, 8, 10.5. Okay, all are this value. How we can identify? I want to here use 7 or 8, so we need some kind of variable name that can point to this or point to this or point to this. That means simple one container where I can put the value as 7, or sometime I can put value as 8, or sometime I can put value as 11. So this is a container that can hold the value. That container name is the variable. And the value which I'm talking, so as we discuss, variable is the container that hold the value. So what kind of value? So here in the programming language, value known as a data type. Value known as a data type. So what are the possible data type? In the math background, we already know the integer number and the floating number. Generally, whenever college runs, like all the whole number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the natural number known as a integer. So here generally we are reading the short form like int. Int, that means integer number, 1, 2, 3, 4, any number. And in the computer, also in the math, we have learned the decimal number. The decimal number in the programming language, you can say floating point number. That is the float, right? Float number like a 3.12 minus 0.5. All these known as a your floating point or decimal number. Similarly, you have a string in the computer, but in our real life generally say sentence or word or character or alphabet. So here in the string, everything in the Python programming language, everything considered as a string. String means one letter. The one letter here is written as a single quote. Maybe word, the, you can written as a this way. Or even you can say this is a test. This is a test, right? So you can say double quote or single quote. So everything, any maybe 21, this is also considered as a single quote. This is considered as a string. A string means any character, printable character, you can write in the single quote considered as a string or double quote. Is Python support string can be considered as a, like here, this is the hello or double quote hello, both are the same thing. The string can be enclosed in a single quote or double quote. Here what you can enclose, maybe number, maybe character, maybe alphabet, maybe any symbol, whatever the printable key available, everything if you write inside the single quote or double quote considered as a string. So a string is a highly used the data type, you can say primitive data type in the Python language or any programming language, you can say. So what is this string? String is sequence of character may be alphabet character, capital letter, to R small letter, okay, or number 0, 1, 2 to 9, or any symbol like a dollar symbol, like hash symbol, okay, like less than, greater than, pi, and operator, all the printable symbol, if you write inside this single quote or double quote, considered as a string. Okay, so if you write only this is a 5, at this time this is considered as a int data type. But if you write single quote in this is considered a string. If you write 5.1, this is the float data type. But you write inside a double quote, it's become a string, right? And sometimes you have a concept of true and false. Maybe is this Boolean number, or you can say is it even number, is odd number, is prime number, you are male or female. Sometime you want to answer yes or no. That is known as a true and false. This is known as a bool data types. And these are your primitive data types. And after that, in the help of this integer, float, string, bool, you can group them. So let's say we have a 5 6 and 8, 3. So these three values are collections of value, can be list, can be tuple, can be set, can be dictionary. So here whenever you're going to work on the collections of value, so known as a data structure. The data structure, array data structure, list, set, tuple, we are going to talk. But these known as a data structure data type. So might be order collection like 1, 2, 3 or ABCD. So here value collect group of value. Value can be integer value, float value, string value, bool value. So these are the primitive. 4 is the primitive data type in the Python. Integer, float, string, and bool. And once these value are equal to group them, collect them, then become a data structure that is known as a collection data structure. Maybe order collections, yeah, order immutable collections, yeah, unordered collections with the key value, yeah, unordered collection with a non-duplicate or set, you can say. So these are the different kind of value, and all these value you can assign inside your variable. This value you can assign this variable. So first understand variable is the container, yeah, box where hold the value. What kind of value? Value can be integer value, float value, string value, boolean value, or even data structure, or even we are going to further customize complex data structure. Right now, so everything considered as a data. And this is the one of the cool things in any programming language. You have to take some decision. Okay, if this is branching, you can say, let's you are going to from your home to office. Might be you have a two routes. Okay, so maybe here is your market, here is your office. Okay, if you're from here going, the somehow some point you have to take decision. Hey, I have go to the left, I have good, then you have decide I'm going to office, then I have go to here, I'm going to the market, then I go to the here. So on the basis of conditions, so this is you have a branch control structure where my control go. So we have a couple of control statement, you can say. If and else statement we're going to talk what how if and else statement like maybe. So here say let us if if you say greater than greater than 20 and print left, left to go right now, or else print right. So here you have to run here. So you have to branching selection decision. So here a is greater than 20, a is greater, no, so they are going to write. Okay, so somehow you have to sometime take a decision. Condition check, if condition met then do this, if condition not met, so for that this is known as a conditional, yeah, control structure. Whenever a program going to run, where they are going, so we have a couple of conditions we're going to talk. If then condition, else if then condition, then else. Okay, so here we have an option, this is the if, and here you can also say let's say L, else if. Okay, and if say a equal to 20, let's example a equal to 20, then you can say print equal. Okay, okay, you run. So depend upon your value. Okay, equal right now. If let's why say equal? Okay, let's I say 21. That means this is greater than no, equal no, then right. So these are your known as a control statement right now. So this is known as your control statement. So there are the, we're going to talk detail in further, but understand these are the, whenever we want to control my flow, then we have to either control structure elements. Okay, and couple of things we are going to the for loop and while loop and functions. Loop, that means iterate over the sequence such as a list, tuple. Whenever we have a group subvalue, same statement, this is the one I want to print 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. So somehow same statement you want to execute multiple times. That is known as a loop. So you have a two options, for loop and while loop. Once you have a set up statement you want to execute, instead of writing 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, yeah, 100 times, it is not a good you are going to write the same statement 100 times. Just write only one time and say, hey compiler, loop this, execute this code in 100 times. So for those purpose, we are going to take a loop. Okay, and functions are the show. So sometime not the one statement, but the different statement you are writing to complete your business logic. So those known as a function. We're going to talk to how to define the function. So generally functions have a your def function name and parameter list. So let us example, you can write, hey, define, and say function name sum, and you can say I will take a two parameter x and y, and I am going to print them sum x plus y. Okay, sum num. Okay. So here you can define, here is the definition, means just the keyword def. This is a function name, and you want to, here you want to give in the some your business logic, your calculation, and this is a function. How can call the, hey I am using some function 4 comma 6. Okay, and so here you can define your function, and here you are going to use them. The multiple functions you can write. Okay, like 13, 15. Okay, so in this way you can do the value. Okay, so these are the, you can say, primitives. We're going to talk detail in the further session, but yes, these are the control structures the tool we have. Can go if else statement, or the for loop, or while loop, or functions. These make us decide how our program execution flow goes. Okay, and in the terms of functions, defining the function, that means here is the keyword. Here you are defining a function. The def is the keyword that gives a definition, and your function name, your input parameter, and what the code you are going to do here. So this is the function definition, and here you are going to use the function and calling your function. So here this value like a 3, 5, these, this is known as argument. What the argument you passing here, variable x and y, this is considered known as a parameter. So the function name defining defining function, and here you pass the input input parameter list. Okay, input parameter list, and here your function body, whatever the function you written here. Okay, and after that, whenever you're going to the use this function fn, and you have to pass the actual input parameter value, like a value v1 or v2 or v3, whatever value, this is known as your argument. So this is the argument, this is the parameter, this is the function name, this is the defining function. This is a definition of function or implementation of function. This is the called function where you are a used function, right? So here say defining function, use the def keyword to define the function name and the parameter you pass in the parenthesis. So here your function name, parenthesis, and pass the parameter v1, v2, v3, whatever. Calling function, that means now you can go into the call the function, just use the argument that I am going to the calling this function and pass the value like 2. The actual value is the known as a arguments, right? Now, and sometimes the function may return value, though returns your keyword. Even you can say here we have written the value, print the value, and even you can say, hey, let's return return let's say here say sum equal to here sum, and here say print s equal to sum equal to comma s. One thing, be clear whenever you're writing code. Notice if you are writing code this way, they are not properly indentation, so they are going to compile. So just select the code and say, hey, code format. Okay, just go here, say, hey, format the code, and they just format the code, right? Now, and return here s. Okay, and just control and just code format. I mean, always format the code, those it will be. So yeah, in this way, if your code proper uh, space, then it works, if you somehow let's you write somehow written this way, just a space. So if you run your compile, your code is not compiler, so say they are not properly indentation. So always be ensure that you are writing the very clear. Manually you can do, just select the code, select your file, whatever the file you have, just go to the editor and say, okay, code format, and they are format the code. Somehow they are not understand, but yeah, it will format the code. Okay, once you format the code, it will say it's okay. Okay, and then you can run them. Okay, okay, it's all right. Okay, so please be carefully whenever we are going to write, be aligned. You cannot say here the can look like a four space. Notice the four space, 1 2 3 4. These are the four space where you have to align. Similarly, def after these are steps, whatever the steps we are writing. So these are your functions. Okay. So let us start about the modules. We're going to talk detail, but modules look like whatever the code written in the file. This is a py, this is not a module, and this module you can just use the import statement to import the statement. So that means here you can create maybe one file, another python file. Let you create like a util file. Okay, util file. Okay, and here you can define your function right now, because uh, sum 2 now. Okay, sum 2 now, and they say this is the number one number xn, let's say a comma b, and here say return a plus b. So here you return up, this is the your util file, and this file you can want to use here. So instead of this function, I am going to here I am going to use. So here I am directly say, hey, I have already util function. Why I am going to write this code? Why I not use the sys? Say import. You can say your util. Okay. This is the here in this where you want to go use. Go to this here and here say import util, and here is a just util dot some two number and pass two number right now, and you can say print. So in this way, modules, that means a file you retain and you can use the place where you want. What it is? Oh, missing. Okay. So whenever you are writing a function name, input parameter list, and colon, then your returns. Now here come and run this code. Okay, you are getting this value. Okay. So here you can use just import, or you can say what to give the name as a, you can say or as my sum. Okay, then you can use this name here, my sum. So you can just give this file name as a, whatever the convenience name you want, and you can show in this way. Or you can also just you want to import the specific, let's say they file have a this file have a two function. This is function one. Let's have another function, sum multiply. Okay, multiply. Okay, this. Okay. So you want to only get these two. So by default, these two function we can call here. Print here say isum dot multiply 3 comma 4. Both we can call here right now. But sometime we want only specific function. I want to only this function, not this. So here say instead of this, you can say you want to just comment line this code, just say comment here and say, hey, from from util import only I want to mul function. So only this function I can use. So I as a my this function I can use. I cannot use this. Okay. Now I can use directly. Okay. So this function you can already I use right now. So here comment like this way. Okay. Right. So always be right indentation. So in this way, you can say modules. That means nothing. Your file, you can read a file. Lots of function you can read it, and this file you can use the any place. Just import and which function you want. File one, file two, file three. So code readable means you just write one utility code in your particular file, and this file you can use here, you can use here, you can use here, you can use here. So that is the increase your the modules increase our code readability. It's just you write one time business logic, I can say all the library, all the written as a module, since they written the file a function and expose you can use them right. So these are the some common you can say Python syntax, or you can say generally notice we are using printing the output from console. Our input, here is the input file. You want to length, calculate the length. Range function, generate the number. List, declaration, set, tuple. All are the these are the kind of basics commonly you can use to the just like here say let's I say uh, message message equal to let's say hello one. Okay, and if you print them, okay, message, and if you want to also the length of this message, okay, so you can use the inbuilt function length, okay, length, and pass the message. So this the inbuilt all the built-in function you can use directly. So whatever the here mentioned like length, a range, a list, these are the built-in functions you can use any places where you want. All these function like we are generally using printing for the printing. Here we are using the print function to print the message. One argument, two argument, three argument, any message you can pass here. Similarly, other things, whenever you talk about the input, read and write file, you talk about the how to take input from the console, right? Now, how to get a length, range, generate the sequence number, okay? We're going to talk in detail, but these are the common, so you can say, syntax or inbuilt library functions which we can use right now. So these are some best practices we have to follow while writing the our Python programs. Whatever the variable name you will give the as meaningful, like instead of ABC, give the, and also add the comments to explain your code, make it easier to understand. Whatever the business logic you are going to write, please add the your comment so that someone can read your code and understand the meaning. Use the blank line to separate the business logic. This is the instead of writing code, make some space so that they are separate business logic. They are separate business logic. Always use consistent indentation to denote the block level structure. Avoid using the global variable. We'll talk what is the global variable in next class, but use the function to organize your code and reduce the repetition. So best option whenever you're going to write the code, try to use the functions as the best to organize your code. So whatever the we discuss, and in coming days we are going to discuss about the Python as a programming. Each and everything you can find at the official Python documentation, and just read out here and everything whatever how to installation Python tutorial language discussion, library discussion, each and everything how to do Python's more details, each and everything just click here, and all the details you can find here whatever we're going to discuss. If you are interested, you directly go here. My objective just also I'm reading from here and whatever explaining to from the here itself, but it would be good just if you want to more details, surely in this uh, small hour of the video, we cannot discuss each and every topic, but just give the brief gist, a brief idea what is about this, so that you can go and refer more details if you want. Okay, so that's for the day, and hope today you get something little bit idea about the Python. What is the Python? Why use Python? What are the use cases? What are the basic syntax and semantic? How to write installer Python? How you can use the editor to write the code? What are the basic syntax and semantic? What the variables? What the kind of different control structures? What are the common functions generally we use, and what are the modules and packages that help us, and what are the best guidelines while the writing code for your Python as a programmer. So hope this information give you little bit idea about the Python programming language. Thank you.